Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to talk about the new DJI drone, the DJI Avata. This is basically a Cinewhoop built by DJI. It's basically made for people who want to fly FPV drones but don't want to build them themselves. They want to open the box, put in the battery and start flying. I'm going to compare the Avata to a classic Cinewhoop, like a Cinewhoop that I built myself. This is the iFlight Product 35. I will compare the DJI Avata with a classic FPV drone. This is a 5-inch FPV drone. They are fast, you can do tricks with them, you can freestyle with them, you can dive mountains, you can chase cars, you can do whatever you want with them actually. These are actually the boys that are used the most by FPV pilots. So let's talk about the DJI Avata. So DJI Avata is a 3-inch Cinewhoop. It is, if you look at it, you see that it has these ducts. These ducts are actually for protection. They are you can fly with them inside, you can fly with them around people, you can fly actually in some really tight spaces with this, and you won't hurt anyone, you won't actually crash, because if you bump into a wall or something, then it will just I don't know, it will just do a little thing and it will fly away, you know. Since you're already watching this video, you probably know what FPV stands for. FPV means first person view. It basically means that everything that your drone sees through the camera, you see it in the goggles. You have the goggles on your head, and then you have kind of the feeling that you're in the drone, you know. And it's kind of addictive. I think that's the reason why a lot of people started flying FPV, you know. You have these goggles on your face, and with the controller that you have, I don't know, you can use with the DJI Avata, you can use this motion controller, or you can also use this traditional controller that you have. This is the DJI V2 controller, FPV V2 controller, or yeah, that was called like that, I thought. Now, the thing about FPV is that everything that is being actually recorded by the drone, you see it in the goggles, so you don't have some external screen, you don't have a phone that has to be attached to your controller with the Mavic. I mean, the Mavic is a really nice tool, you can take great videos and photos with it, but FPV is a little bit different. You can go through tighter gaps, you can fly under trees, in buildings, through windows, because the reason for that is because FPV has a much lower latency. I think the latency for FPV drones is, for traditional FPV drones, it's somewhere around 25 milliseconds. I think for the Avata is around 30. So therefore you can actually it's so much easier to control your drone, because you have your controller and you kind of forget that you have the controller in your hands, you know. You have the feeling in your head, you say I want to go left, your thumbs move to the left, you want to go right, your thumbs move to the right. And that's what makes it so special, because since you forget that you're actually flying a drone and you have the feeling that you're up there in the sky, that's when it gets special, you know. And that is probably also the thing why I like FPV so much, because sometimes when I'm flying, I really forget that I'm on the ground. I have the feeling that I'm up there, that I'm actually in the drone. And sometimes then I see myself on the ground and I'm oh, is that me right over there, you know? And yeah, that's really pretty special. Like I said, it's really easy to fly this drone inside. Even someone who is just starting with FPV drones and who is flying actually the first time can already fly it inside, because it's really easy. Because mostly that's because these sensors, because the Avata has sensors on the bottom part. These sensors are actually checking the ground and that the drone will stay actually in position, and also it will check how high the drone is, so it will keep the altitude really precise. So therefore it's really easy to fly indoors, because when you're going with the classic FPV drone, I already shown you the iFlight ProTech. The thing about the iFlight ProTech is, or any other Cinewhoop, is when when you have the airflow coming from the propellers, what you have is the drone starts wobbling a little bit because there is a lot of turbulence under the drone. And that's something that the Avata is in some way actually like filtering it out. I don't know, like it's probably because of the filter, because of the sensors. I think they control like which propeller should like actually rotate how much so it stays stable. And that's really nice. I mean, like you are really confident with this drone. And that's actually the thing that it's I mean, like Cinewhoop, it's really hard to fly with. I mean, like you have to like really learn outside first, maybe with a 5-inch, or actually like you start with a simulator. But after that you go to a 5-inch. I think the 5-inch is actually the most used drone by anyone because you can do everything with it, you know. The Avata is actually more for those like slow, stable, like, you know, going on the trees, like flying around people. I can imagine that you actually can fly through a car window with it actually and fly outside to the other side. The thing with the Avata is that you have one camera for everything. So you have one camera for the FPV view, and you have the same camera also for the 4K 60 frames per second or 50 frames per second, depends what you use, for the recording, you know. That's nice. For one thing, because you only need one camera, you don't need to set up your GoPro. Like, I mean, like you plug in the battery, you take your controller, you take your goggles out, you go flying. That's cool. In some scenarios, basically, when you have one camera for your FPV view and also for the recording is not so good. The thing is, when you have only one camera for the recording and for the FPV, let's say it this way, let's give you an example. Like you're flying outside, you have everything, your shutter and your when your frames per second and everything is set up, and then you set up your ISO. You can set up your ISO to 100 because you're outside, it's sunny outside, you have probably like an ND filter on this camera, and then you fly under trees and suddenly everything gets too dark, you know, and you don't see the things really clearly, and that's a problem. Like, you know, sometimes you can have that you're going flying under the trees and that you don't see anything because it gets dark. And then once you actually fly out, like from under the trees, and you go like back in the open, like with the sun and everything, then suddenly it's overexposed, you know, if you set it up for under the trees. And that's the problem with this, that you have only one camera for FPV and for the recording. With classic FPV drones, you don't have that, because you have this little camera, and this is the camera that you look through. So it doesn't matter, like you can expose or underexpose this camera how much as you want, because basically it's an auto. So the camera is actually exposing everything the best that it can, so you can see. So it doesn't matter what you see in the goggles. I mean, like, the video is still really nice. It's 720p HD, so it's really good. That's the feed that you get in the goggles. And then the GoPro on top, it records in 4K 30, 4K 60, what you want. And that's cool because you can actually like set up ND filters on this, and the GoPro has actually a really good dynamic range, so you can still like grade it really good. I tried to grade the Avata. It's actually recorded in Dji, I thought. That's actually what yeah, that's kind of log that's from DJI. I mean, I think the GoPro is a little bit better. I mean, for me it was much easier like to grade GoPro footage, but that could also be because I'm used to it. I mean, like the Avata, the video is really good, but I still have the feeling that for me it's better to grade GoPro footage. And this is a 5-inch FPV drone. This is the Freestyle Drone. This is a drone that you see most on Instagram or videos. This is actually being used by almost every FPV pilot. I think, yeah, every FPV pilot starts with a 5-inch drone or maybe something smaller. That's kind of similar. But on this drone I have, like you see, I have a longer antenna because I use it actually also for like mountain diving and cliff diving. Then I have a GPS at the back, and also like you have these bigger propellers, you know, bigger than the Avata. The Avata has 3-inch propellers, these are 5-inch propellers. I have a GoPro 10 bones on this, and basically the thing about 5-inch FPV drones, or completely like all FPV drones, is it's built from carbon. And this is good because when you crash it, nothing happens to it, you know. The thing, yeah, you can like, I don't know, you can like jam a motor or something, or you can like rip off some cable. I mean, like that's normal stuff, but it doesn't happen that often. And when it happens, like the repair costs are like, I don't know, 5 euros, 10 euros. Sometimes you can have like bigger crashes when you destroy GoPro, or like, I don't know, like something starts burning, and then it's still not so expensive to repair. The thing about the DJI Avata is, I mean, it's nice, but the only thing that I hate about it, and that I also hated about the first DJI FPV, it's that it's made from plastic. Like I said, also even my Cinewhoop, I mean, like only the ducts are plastic, but when I break those, like it cost me, I think 15 euros like to replace them, or even the whole frame where the drone is built in costs, I think 45 or 50 euros or dollars, or yeah, you know. The thing about the Avata is, like I said, it's from plastic. When you crash it, I think it will, I mean, it will hold. It feels good. It's much better than the first FPV drone DJI made. That drone was like, I mean, you crashed it once and it was dead, you know. And that's the thing, like, okay, you can have DJI care, but do you want to wait, like you send it in, you have to wait till they actually like get you a new drone. I mean, it's not that expensive, like for people who have the money and who are like I don't care, like when I actually like crashed it 2 times, I used both of my DJI care replacements, I will just buy another one. That's an option. I mean, like if you have the money and you think like that's an option for you, you can do that. But I think basically like when you start FPV, you will crash. I mean, you can start in a simulator and you can like try to fly there, but sooner or later you will crash it. You will crash the Avata, you will crash the normal FPV, but that's the thing. The normal FPV drones, like the regular FPV drones, are built from carbon fiber, and when you crash those, like the thing that you probably will just change are the propellers. So, you know, and those little parts where the motor is attached to, if those would have been from carbon fiber, that would be great, really great. But they are from plastic, just like the ducts. The ducts are also plastic on my my Cinewhoop, you know. But the thing about this is, I can replace them, but you can't replace these. Let's talk about these goggles. They look great. I mean, when I saw them the first time, when I saw some pictures leaked online, I was like, okay, I need these. I'm going to sell my V2s. I'm going to buy the DJI goggles too, because I like that they are small. They look like Fat Sharks. I mean, like Fat Sharks are really great goggles for analog FPV, but that's something else. But that's what I liked. But now, when I use them, I don't like them so much anymore. The thing about these goggles is this part for your nose is way too small. I mean, like, it could be that my nose is too big, I don't know. But when I put them on my face, for me, it's really difficult to breathe, you know? It kind of like pushes down my nose, and I have the feeling, even if I talk like I'm actually holding my nose, you know? Like, I have like this really high-pitched voice because of it. And I think that's too bad, because I really wanted to love these goggles, because I really love how they look. But maybe it could be that for you these goggles are perfect. I mean, like maybe you have a different face than me, maybe I have like, I don't know, like my nose is bigger. Also what I notice is when I have them on my face, I feel my eyelashes actually like touching the glass actually of the lenses. It's pretty annoying. Okay, these little antennas, you can fold them. You can replace also these antennas. So these antennas are actually also, you can like screw them off, and you can like buy other antennas, like, I don't know, like some better ones. These are actually omnidirectional antennas, so they work 360 degrees around you. And then here in the bottom part, you have built-in directional antennas. These you can actually like replace these. These are actually there and they will stay there for forever. I don't know, maybe there will become some fix, or maybe it's in some kind of way you can open it and change them. Don't know. These goggles can be used with the air units. DJI said that they will actually like release some updates, and you will probably be able to use them with the old air units, but there is nothing official out yet about that. Also, DJI will probably release a completely new air unit. That air unit will be compatible with these ones. It will have actually the same camera that is on your Avata. It looked like the same, like it was just like not in this gimbal thing, but the camera looked completely the same. Once DJI released that, you will have instead of 720p feed, you will have the 1080p feed actually on these goggles. The screens inside are really nice. I mean, like, it's OLED, it's full HD. The only downside is when I have them on my face, I don't see the whole screens, and I mean, I thought like it will be much better. I mean, like, the colors and everything are great. I mean, like, they look really good, but still, you can choose. I mean, like, if you're going to buy the Avata can actually be bought. You can choose. You can actually buy it with these goggles, or you can buy Avata with these goggles. The V2 goggles are actually the goggles that were actually used with the traditional DJI FPV, with the first one actually, yeah. And also these one are compatible with the air units. Also, the thing that you can do with these goggles is you can upgrade the antennas. Like, if you see, I have here actually the omnidirectional antennas, and in front on this plate you can actually like change the whole plate and connect it like to the bottom part. This is like the directional antenna from iFlight, or you can buy from, like, there are some more brands that actually like release these. All kinds of, I mean, like, they're all kind of the same, but every brand has its own antennas, you know, and that's nice. Also, the other thing that's nice, like, I changed the foam. The foam here is also like a little bit thicker. That's what I miss on these goggles. The foam here, it's I mean, like, there is almost no foam basically. It's maybe that's the reason why it's so close on my face, and I feel my eyelashes actually touching the lenses. Maybe if they release some other foam for these, it will be better. I mean, I hope, because I really like these goggles, but for now, not so much. Also, this strap is really nice. This is from edX. Like, probably that strap will also fit on these goggles, so you can also change that if you like, say, like, I'm going to use these ones. About these goggles, you have a touchpad. There is no more like a joystick, like on the V2 goggles. I mean, I don't know. It's working good, but it's kind of not responding every time how I want it to respond. Maybe it's just me that I'm just not used to it. But I like actually the joystick that you have on the V2 goggles much more. So one thing that is really nice about these goggles, that's that you have here like a USB-C port that can be used as HDMI out. So you can connect it to your iPhone. That's a really nice thing, because the V2 goggles can be connected to an iPhone. So you have to like buy, like, you know, those how do you call it, the smart controller that you can use with your Mavic, and that can be used like with your goggles to actually see everything that you see in the goggles. Or you can buy, like I did, I bought an Android tablet just for that, you know, so people that are with me could actually watch what I see in the goggles. You don't have that with these goggles. That's really nice. You can actually like connect the USB-C cable here and connect it to your iPhone or to your Android phone, doesn't matter, and then you can watch and see everything that you see in the goggles. Now, let's talk about the controller. So this is actually what you get now with your Avata. I mean, It's fun. It's fun. I mean, it's nice to fly with it. You have like this little dot in the middle of your screen, and like how you point it, that's where the drone will go. I mean, it's nice. It's fun. It's for people like who want to like fly a little bit around and have fun with their drone and are not really into that cinematic stuff. And I don't know, and they're just for exploring. It's cool. With this controller, you can actually fly in the two modes that you have, or actually the DJI Avata has 3 modes. You have the normal mode, you have the sport mode, and you have the manual mode. The normal mode is actually the one where the Avata goes the slowest. It goes, I think, around 15 or 20 kilometers per hour max speed, I think. And then with the sport mode, you can go around 30 kilometers per hour. I mean, it's nice. It's nice. You can fly with it. You can have fun with it. You can record nice videos with it. Only thing that I kind of had is when you are flying in these 2 modes, I have the feeling that the drone tries to act too much like an FPV drone, like, you know, like going side to side. And that kind of feels fake to me. I mean, like I tried to make a video and make it look as much as it was possible to make it look like a real FPV drone. But the thing was, you could see like it wasn't so fluent, it wasn't natural. And that's when you actually need the manual mode. The manual mode is actually that then you unlock all the axes. Like then you don't fly like a traditional, like a Mavic or something that you go up and down and to the right and to the left, but suddenly then your drone is unlocked and it can actually spin in every direction. You can punch throttle when you're upside down. You can do all these things. You can actually like combine everything how you want, and that's what real FPV is about. That you have the control over your drone and all the axes. Now you can't do manual with this. With the motion controller, you can't do it. You can only go to normal or to sport. For manual to work, you need this one. This is the DJI FPV controller 2. These are at this point, I'm not sure how it is in the world, but in Europe they are almost not available. They are completely sold out. I don't even think that DJI has some in stock at this point. Everywhere there is like a waiting time for, I think for now, for more than a month. And I think that DJI did it because this controller was actually also used with a traditional DJI FPV drone, and it was probably not sold that much. And that's why they're trying to now to sell it actually in the package with the Avata. And you have to buy this, you know, you have to buy this actually like after you bought the Avata like separately. I know that this one was actually, a lot of them were actually on second-hand websites because a lot of people crashed their DJI FPV drone, and then they actually kept their goggles. They had their goggles and they had this controller. A lot of people were selling these actually second-hand on the internet, but now I checked and they're all gone. So actually I think everyone who bought the Avata bought the controller from the people that had these still online, you know. So yeah, that's one thing. Now, when you see this controller, like you see, you have these sticks. You have the stick. This is actually the throttle stick, and this is the stick for pitch and for yaw. Now, if you want to fly manual, you can fly manual like this. You have like take off this little part here, like you have like some cover. You have to take off that cover, and with a screwdriver you have to like loosen some bolts or screws. A screw that is actually like in the back of the controller. And then what happens is that this actually this stick, it will stay down or it will stay up. It will actually like keep the position that you put it in. It won't go back to the middle part. I can show you. This is actually my controller. This is the iFlight Commando. I mean, they look the same. I mean, like I know that iFlight, what they did, They were like, come on, let's make the same controller, but for traditional FPV drones, it's almost feels the same. This is a little bit lighter, it's a little bit heavier, but like you can see, I can move the stick and it stays wherever I want it to be. This is for the throttle. This is the throttle stick. It has to be like that to fly manual. Also, one thing that I wanted to talk about is the batteries. Like for traditional FPV drones, like you have Lipo batteries. These batteries are actually like really straightforward. You just put them on your drone, connect them to this connector, and you can go, you can fly. The thing about these batteries also, they are not so expensive. We found some discount with my friends. We bought like batteries for €2 a piece. I mean, like, it's crazy, you know? So you can basically like for €100 you can sometimes like buy 10 batteries for your drone and you can fly that for 2 seasons. Get one battery with your Avata, and then you can buy the Fly More combo. One battery for the Avata costs €120 or dollars. That's pretty much, if you ask me, you know. I mean, okay, I understand 12 minutes flight time is an intelligent battery that actually discharges itself after a while. That's also the thing with classic FPV drones, that you have to discharge your batteries, because otherwise they will wear much faster. But yeah, that's something that you have. I mean, like €2 a piece for a battery. I mean, like that's would I recommend this drone to people? Yes, I would. I mean, it's a nice drone. It's a really good drone, like for beginners. Me myself, I wouldn't buy it because, you know, I have my FPV drones. I can build it myself. For me, it's much cheaper, like to build my own drone and fly that, you know. But for people who are actually like who want to get into FPV, who want to get some different kind of shots than the Mavic can do, or shots they can't do with the gimbal, you can buy the Avata because it's really nice. You can fly through a window inside a building, like film something inside, like I don't know, in the living room or in the kitchen, and then fly out again through some other window or through the door or whatever. That's really cool. You wouldn't do that with a Mavic, and you can do it with a gimbal. So this is like, you can see this like a flying gimbal or something, or like a flying tripod, you know. But yeah, this is actually a really good thing DJI did. Like, if you really want to get into FPV, you don't know anyone that is living around you that will teach you FPV or that will show you how to build a drone. That was the luck I had, because I actually met some people and they helped me to get into FPV. They learned me all this stuff. After that I tried to experiment myself. So now I can build my own drone, so I don't need to buy something like this anymore. But it's cool, it's really nice. So when I saw it, and I was like, oh, why is DJI like actually like making another drone from plastic, and why are they still trying to get into the FPV world? But they did a great job with this one. I can really tell you that. If you want to fly FPV, you should get this. If you want to chase cars, if you want to dive down mountains, if you want to go really fast, if you want to freestyle, you shouldn't buy this. You should buy like a 5-inch FPV drone or build one. There are already some 5-inch FPV drones that are actually built. I'll probably make another video where I explain everything that I have on this drone and everything that you need for a 5-inch FPV drone. So subscribe to my channel, and you can watch more videos like this in the future if you want to. You can follow me on Instagram. It's the same. My Instagram is actually the same as my channel here. If you want something, or if you have some questions, like put it in the comments below, or you can DM me on Instagram. I will try to like answer you. See you guys.